can't.
I love seeing our intro.
What's up, guys? And welcome to Sith Happens Star Wars podcast. I am Dadalorian, and thank you guys for joining us for a very special episode today. Now, a lot of you guys may remember last week where we were talking about how we were going to be doing our giveaway for the San Diego Comic-Con Anakin Obi-wan 2-pack, and that's exactly what we're going to be going through today. But before we get into that giveaway, yep, there it is. We actually got a good what if episode planned with my two boys right here, Matty Ice, and otherwise known as Black Series Daily Desk, and I am .Community on Instagram. How we doing, fellas?
Hello there. I'm Matty Ice, otherwise known as Black Series Daily Desk on Instagram, as my main man, the Dadalorian, just said. And boy, do we have an exciting episode. We all know what ifs are my favorite episodes we do. So and having the giveaway, I am amped, and hope everybody else listening is too.
Ant, say hello.
Yeah, what is your deal? I'll monitor.
I'm also amped, and I'm also ant. Dude, I'm trying to do two things at once. Here's what you just told me to do. You told me to try to do two things at once. I told you I wasn't good at it. I was trying to do it, and I failed.
I'll monitor Instagram.
I got it. I'm doing great.
You're beautiful.
Fantastic. Okay, all right. Yeah, happy to talk what ifs. One of my favorite topics for you guys. You know, last week I made you all suffer through why Luke was the best in The Last Jedi, and today I switched spots so you all can look at my special accolade shelf. It's really I'm doing wonders for the podcast.
Triggering a lot of people, probably.
Yeah, seriously, that's the wonders that you provide. But I think we just get into it, boys. So as a reminder. Yeah, as a reminder to today's listeners, this is our What If episode where what we did was we had that awesome SDCC Revenge of the Sith 2-pack. So what we did was you had to put a what if for us to talk about as a comment on our podcast page, follow our pages and the podcast page, and you were entered to win. We have put together a randomized wheel of all the people that completed the tasks as asked, and I have hand selected a bunch of what ifs I liked. We're going to see how many we can get through. Where we talk about what we think would happen. Don't be shy in the comments. We'll be monitoring if somebody has something else to say. And I want to also remind everybody, just because I don't read your what if does not mean you are not still entered. It just means that I liked another one maybe a little better. They were all great, minus the one about incest, which if anybody wants to go mock that guy, he is in the comments. With that said, unless you wanted to talk more about something.
Not about that part, but no, just about the fact that we had so many edge rates, which is awesome. I mean, so much awesome what ifs, and I'm excited to see which ones you picked. So
yeah,
let's roll.
It was very hard, and I have a couple that are like my number one picks, and a couple that are like maybe wild cards. I'm gonna go with the one that, very interestingly, I actually liked the absolute best, and you're gonna see why it's interestingly at first, and it is from Dad of Xander.
Oh,
Dad of Xander's was, honestly, I'm not a fan of what if stories, so we were off to a great start. But since I have to enter, I want to know what would happen if the Ewoks didn't help the rebellion on Endor. And I like this one because we get a lot of prequel ones, so I was trying to go with a little more OT this go around. Okay, and I think that's a really cool question. Because at first I was kind of like, well, they'd figure it out. But then I was kind of like, right, but such a big part of the strategy ended up being getting the Imperials out of the bunker, right? Ultimately, with the Ewoks, it was also kind of them saving them when they were outside. So I don't know. I mean, I think...
And the other question you have to pose is if they're not with them, are they against them?
Oh, interesting. Look, imagine if it became...
They don't need to necessarily be with the Empire.
Yeah, I mean, what if it was like a creature horror thing? Like the Ewoks eat people, and now not only did they have to contend.
Yeah,
Well, the Ewoks from Empire side came into it. But it's like, what if it was like sort of like, now you've got to fight the Empire and these creatures trying to eat you in the woods. But it would be interesting if they survived an initial attack by the Ewoks and knew they were there with minimal casualties, and they did that raid on the Empire, left someone outside, right? So when they get captured and, the Empire, kind of comes outside or whatever when they kind of get the ambush. But instead of getting ambushed, the guy who got captured runs and irritates the Ewoks. So the Ewoks ultimately come, and now it's the Rebels versus the Empire versus the Empire versus the Rebels versus the Ewoks, right? And now you've got this like cross battle going on where ultimately we kind of Highlander it, and I think that would be really cool and fun with that.
I'll say this much about this what if, and just like if they didn't have the Ewoks help, is I think ultimately that's where the rebellion dies, because the satellite doesn't get taken down. Like I think if something like that happens, where like say they are going through the woods and it gets to like just to that scene essentially where they're captured, like say that doesn't happen, right? They never find the Ewoks, they don't get involved at all. What I see happen at that point is going to be they get to the bunker, they fall into the trap, nobody's there to get them out. So Luke possibly has gone and done his own thing with Vader at this point, and given that the whole rebellion's getting wiped out at this point, he takes out Palpatine and he does the dark.
Oh, look at you writing for Disney. I love it.
Yeah, seriously.
What else about the OT are fun, guys? This is a little pointed joke about last week. Go on, Eric. I'd love to hear your what.
Damn, that was a lot further.
Yeah, that's than like not going too far into it. I think that's my.
I love that. I think that is such a cool. Yeah, I like yours better than mine. Mine I kind of stayed in linear fashion.
No, he wants to get Dark Empire.
Well, it's so easy with these when somebody has one like that to just go, well, then they die and it'd be over. It's like the real challenge is what you just did, because you just didn't make it the happy. You didn't get us to the happy ending. You know what I mean? You got us to like what you think would really happen. I did that.
Just continued that story.
You got a thought here?
No, I'm good with you guys on this one. Let's move to this one.
I'm going to start kicking these to you guys to start.
Okay.
The first one I'd like to pass on to my dear friend I Am Not a Committee, from essentially, like I would say, one of our biggest fans, Howl Runner. Hi, Howl Runner.
Oh boy.
And that is, what if Obi-Wan had gone to face the Emperor and Yoda went to face Anakin instead? I've got one for this too. See if yours matches mine.
Oof. I loved this one. And I think, as much as I hate to say it, I do think the Emperor would have killed Obi-Wan. And there's a good chance Yoda would have killed Anakin.
Okay.
Is my honest opinion.
So hear me out. The Emperor, absolutely, Obi-Wan's toast, unfortunately. And that's what Obi-Wan wanted, right? Ultimately, Anakin.
And everybody knows Obi-Wan is my man. He's my fave, but not against the Emperor. Like we've seen what he could do to three very well-trained Jedi Masters.
So I'm going to go with Padme still shows up. Yes, Obi-Wan's done. Padme still shows up, but instead of Obi-Wan kind of following to arouse, Anakin's ire and jealousy, Yoda shows up. And then what if Yoda and Anakin, they have a pretty good duel, but ultimately in the end of it, Yoda kind of like, they end up back on the platform, right? And Yoda kind of heals Padme, like Force heals. I don't mind a Force heal. That's been around. That's what Obi-Wan did to Luke in A New Hope. He put his hand on his forehead. It kind of brings Padme back, and he's like, and it kind of takes a lot of Yoda's life. Like he looks much older after, right? Because they have this long life and all that. And he kind of tells Anakin, it kind of changes Anakin's perspective on like, a little bit about, the Jedi. It doesn't fully change his like need to dominate the galaxy, right? And kind of have this order. But it's a little bit of a snapback for Anakin. Anakin and Yoda go to face the Emperor. And remember, the Emperor, he felt Anakin's more powerful than him, right?
So at this point, maybe does Anakin realize that the Emperor was using him?
Kind of like he was getting messed with, and now he's done all these things. And Yoda's like, well, the only way you can really rectify this in any way is to help me kind of shut out the dark, bring the balance. So they go back and they have this fight with the Emperor, and like Yoda and Anakin, they're going at it, and ultimately they need to really channel the Force to kind of take the Emperor down in a real way. So it's this like epic duel, and they get messed up. Like Anakin loses maybe his metal hand. Yoda's like kind of stabbed once. Like this is like really like, where's this gonna go? And in the end, ultimately, Anakin sacrifices himself to kill Yoda and kill the Emperor, and save Yoda. And that's like a little bit more of his like immediate redemption, because it also kind of ties up the thread where Anakin would have to face the repercussions of his actions. So he passes in doing that, right? Ultimately, you have Luke and Leia now get raised kind of by like Yoda, and the order's gone. Yoda kind of sees a little bit of the folly of his ways. He starts, raising Luke and Leia. Anakin and Qui-Gon can kind of like manifest as Force ghosts, and ultimately like sort of like a little bit of a new version of the Jedi where like the folly is understood comes into play, and they become a little bit more like monks channeling the Force. And then this is where I'm going to end it. But if I'm doing this and this is my movie, it closes with when Anakin died, a Force ripple happened. So Yoda's been studying it. So when Yoda finally passes, Luke and Leia are Jedis, and he kind of instructs them to go find Mortis. So Luke and Leia ended up being the balance and potentially the replacement for the brother and sister, but they don't know that until they get to Mortis. So that would be then like a second trilogy, and that's where I'll take that.
Well, I joined in late on that one. I apologize. My power supply came out of my computer, so
I had plenty of juice for both of us.
Mad dash to plug that shit back in. Anyways, but no, dude. So what I caught at the end of it though, and going through that, dude, that's legit, and I love how it plays into the Mortis thing, because that's arguably one of my favorite things in the Star Wars universe, honestly.
Yeah, it's an in-depth, well thought out what if, and I love that. I think my favorite part being, that Anakin sacrificing to save Yoda. I think that part of where you took that is my favorite.
Yeah, I love that too.
Where'd you go?
I'm coming back. I gotta fix something in my audio. But Eric, do you have one? Otherwise, I'm gonna read the next one and let you guys go with before me.
Yeah, I'll do a quick one. So like the way that I didn't catch the beginning here, so maybe I am repeating it. So I apologize if I do. But what I see happening at this, if Yoda confronts Anakin and if Obi-Wan confronts Palpatine, is the way I see this one moving is I think so. Yoda completely nerfs Anakin, in my opinion, but I don't think he kills him. I think he would be able to bring him, like, disarm him and subdue him essentially. I don't know if he would return to the light, so to say, but that would be one.
That's actually pretty much exactly what Matt said for those.
Okay, so Obi-Wan gets completely nuked by Palpatine.
That's what I said.
Yeah, and I'm like, I know you're a big Obi-Wan guy.
I know, it pains me.
But like, honestly, if he goes up against Palpatine, he just gets absolutely massacred, in my opinion, because Obi-Wan is just not prepared for that.
Okay, he'll put up a good fight. Come on.
Well, no. So the thing is, he has the Saber Stone, right? But when it comes down to it, he does not have the Force abilities at that point to compete with Palpatine. That's the thing.
Right.
And that's what that fight turned into for the most part with him and Yoda. And Palpatine.
Yeah, he can only hold that lightning off for so long with his saber.
Yeah, and I mean, you saw him, he went up against Dooku, and he has just lightning, and it's nowhere near as powerful as Palpatine. And he got his ass kicked just by him.
Knocked him out of his ass.
I mean, given he's come a long way since that point. But I don't think he has anywhere near the capability to face Palpatine, and Palpatine just massacres it. At that point, I think, it really depends on what happens with Yoda and Anakin at that point, where if he's able to turn him back to the light or not. Because I think if he is, and he realizes that Palpatine kills Obi-Wan, that would be Anakin and Yoda v Palpatine in a round 2 type of thing. So, and and I'm not going to go crazy into it, but I think that's my take on that, so to say.
That's exactly what Matt was saying, and I agree.
Sorry, we have issues.
Comments. So, I was gonna say we just had some comments come in on Instagram as well from Amanda Jasmine say, yeah, I love Obi-Wan, but he could not go against Palpatine. So and I think that's what we all agree with at that point.
Not by himself.
Cool.
All right, sorry about that, guys. Sweating like crazy. I don't have my glasses on.
No worries. My audio is out, and thank God for Jen. She came over and I fixed it, so I'm on headphones now. But if everybody can hear me now, and I hope I'm good, I will do our next one, and I think we've got time for 2 or 3 more. So I think this was maybe the coolest one, or one of them.
Okay.
A mix of clicks. What if ... Anakin had lost the pod race, and was raised as a slave with his mom never understanding his power? Eric, it is your turn to go first.
Ooh,
I mean, damn. I mean, that's so I didn't even see that one, to be honest with you. Like I was a little bit ill prepared for tonight. But honestly, you see that one happen, and he doesn't win the pod race. Like, I mean, ultimately, like, how does he not win the pod race? Does he die in it? That's like.
I think maybe he just loses, and I think if he loses, Qui-Gon maybe leaves the Order to train him, and I think it becomes a more balanced training. And with his mother present, he really does become this kind of chosen one figure. I think events still unfold in the galaxy the way they did, but you have Obi-Wan and Anakin sort of as these outliers in the battle of the Clone Wars, and they might be just going place to place, sort of like helping people the way like a Jedi would, right? And they sometimes cross paths with the Jedi, but they slowly don't really become main characters in the Clone Wars. And maybe when Order 66 happens, ultimately, it's less based in Anakin. The Emperor takes control, and they become a big part of the battle against the Emperor, and take it from there. And essentially, I would say they maybe defeat the Emperor ultimately, or a part of that rebellion, like the fulcrum of it all. And I would also argue that somewhere along the way they meet Ahsoka, and Ahsoka's force bonded with Anakin.
Yeah. Well, we also had Howard Private chime in. Palps being deprived of yet another apprentice speaks to his ability as a teacher.
Yeah. He'd have Dooku. They'd kill Dooku somewhere in there, man.
Yeah.
He wouldn't, because Qui-Gon wouldn't die. So maybe Dooku and Qui-Gon, maybe Dooku and Qui-Gon kind of end up, he kind of tries to get Qui-Gon on the Separatists. Qui-Gon talks him out of it, right? And then you really kind of end up in this situation where it is the Jedi, maybe kind of, there's a conflict or sort of a civil war in the Jedi. Like, who's like, no, we're not generals, this is bad. And who's like, well, our duty's to the Republic.
Well, something to think about too is, so Maul was already on Tatooine too. So if he loses the race, they're left defenseless. They can't jump on the ship to just get the hell out of there. So maybe Maul just like completely nukes these guys.
That could be a thing too. Yeah, I mean, that would be a pretty quick ending, but I think that could be a thing.
I mean, yeah, if we're talking what ifs, it's the shortest one, but the end.
I think that's good.
The
end. Anything else for that one?
Never happened.
Roll credits.
Yeah, no, I think I like yours, Matt, and I was thinking of a lot more simplistic terms, I think, but I'm thinking, you know, they kind of part ways. The pod race is over. Qui-Gon's kind of humiliated because he's basically risked everything on this kid, and Obi-Wan is kind of, you know, he has to explain to the Queen why they don't have anything. They don't have a ship. They don't have anything now because it's all gone. And so then they're, you know, Anakin goes back, and now he's living out his life as is. I think then he, you know, at some point, like you see, we have a couple different versions. We have Luke, who is 18. Is he 18 in A New Hope?
Yes. 17, 18, something like
18.
that.
No, he's 18.
We have 17, 18-year-old Luke who's just, you know, has no idea he has a force. And then we have people like, I don't know, other examples, but a lot younger than that, you know, who obviously do know.
Yeah.
So another direction is he could pick up on it, but he doesn't have a teacher. So he kind of becomes like, you know, a rogue, if you will, and uses this almost like a Jod character, perhaps. So I could go on an interaction there too, but I want to do a couple more. So
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I think we have time for 2 more, and I saved this one for me to go first. So, so this one we really liked. So also a big thank you to my wife Jen, who literally organized all of the names, so Eric could build the wheel, who went through all the what ifs and helped me select what ifs, who picked a bunch. And I think she and I really liked this one. But I'm going to close with, I think, what was her favorite. And you can correct me if I'm wrong and pick your favorite. She's my studio lead in the back. I said, you can correct me if I'm wrong and pick your favorite as the last one if I didn't pick it yet. All right. So this was my favorite. Other than the Ewok. Well, they're all my favorite. These were all great. And by the way, if I didn't pick yours, I liked every one of them. Just so everybody knows. Great. So what if Anakin face Darth Maul on Mandalore. Oh, it was Droopy McCool, but it's 2
Droopy
zeros.
McCool.
Droopy McCool. So what if Anakin faced Darth Maul on Mandalore as Maul intended and perhaps lost? I'm going to go with if he won, because I think if he wins, he loses more than you think. So I think ultimately he and Ahsoka hear the story that Anakin takes on Maul, Ahsoka helps in the ground battle. Anakin, I think, would 100% roast Maul. Like that is literally you see him like dodge a blaster bolt coming right at his face the day that this happens or the day before. I think he would not even toy with Maul. It would be something akin to like a 2-minute fight. Anakin, we're talking about Anakin Prime. That's the most powerful Jedi potentially that ever lived, right? Yeah. He kills Maul. He comes down. He tells Ahsoka, we got to tell everybody about Palpatine. He tells them about Palpatine. I think Palpatine... Now he's with her, so we don't know if Dooku may still be alive, right? Because he's not in the battle over Coruscant. He and Ahsoka go. I'm just going to pose a thing where he loses even though he won. He and Ahsoka go to face Dooku and Palpatine. Obi-Wan is a duelist. He's fought Dooku. I think Ahsoka might have crossed paths with him. She's good, but she's not Ahsoka Prime yet. During this battle, Anakin is so focused on Palpatine that Dooku kills Ahsoka. Anakin, in his rage, takes out Dooku, channels this full rage and angst and terror, and annihilates the Emperor. And now he's in quotes destroyed the Sith, but he's really opened himself to the dark side. He's more powerful than you could possibly, anybody could possibly ever think. You underestimate his power, right? He's lost her. Padme is having children. The Jedi do not want Padme to have children. He goes against the Jedi. He's angry. He's not a master. And ultimately, the loss of Ahsoka, instead of the worry of the loss of Padme, send him down a path where he is, including his lower half. When I said lost him his anyway, Jen, that was funny. So I lost him everything. So now this conscience, he wants his wife and his kids and him to rule the galaxy. He is at odds with the Jedi. He sort of says he's leaving the Order. He's slowly, through all of the people he's helped in the galaxy, right? Because Anakin's a hero to so many planets. He kind of builds his own rebellion against... He sort of becomes the rebellion against the Galactic Republic in a different way than the Separatists were, because he's waging a holy war. So now we're getting into like Dune territory. And ultimately... him still feeling he's the hero of this story leads even more so to him. Yeah. Shia Halud. That's what he rides. But anyway, so that's the name of his ship. He changes it. But so he crossing properties. But so ultimately he ends up being this galactic emperor, but it feels a lot more like medieval times and feudal when he does it. And he's waging a war that is a holy war against the Jedi and what they stand for. And he's ultimately becoming a new version of Sith. I was off the cuff for the record. I just liked the one and I wanted to do with it.
That's actually amazing. That was off the cuff. That was good.
I had my trusty Ahsoka Kano.
That was brilliant. Yeah, Matt, do you is this all right on the spot? Do you premeditate all this?
You know what's really funny? Every time I read one, my answer is like, well, then they'd be fucked. Like, that's over. And then I have to challenge myself. And it's funny, I'll have a kernel of a thought. I have not Howlrunner, actually. It was really intimidating, by the way. Again, Howlrunner, I know you know Jen. Thank God for Jen, because I was scared all day about putting these in an Excel. But when Jen and I were looking through them and selecting them, I try to pick the ones that my immediate reaction is always well, then they'd be dead, right? Because I think that then I have to push myself. And a lot of times I'll go, okay, here's the next step. And then when I have the next step, I kind of stop there and I just riff, because I like seeing the reaction on y'all's faces, and it helps me to be like, oh, wait, they're buying it? They're buying it? Let me sell it a little bit more. It's a yes and is the moral of the story.
I love it. I love it because they're always so well articulated, and I'm literally following along in my head as if I'm watching a movie over here.
Well, it's a good what if.
It's wonderful.
It's
wonderful. All right, do you guys have anything for that one?
I think we talked that one quite a bit. All of them pretty good.
I'm not even going to try. I'm passing Jen. Here's the sheet. Which one do you want? This one goes out to the woman behind the scenes of our podcast.
And
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Jen. I hate Excel.
Yeah, dude, for real.
Pick one we did. She was helping my audio and then had to go find her own headphones. So give her a break. We'll have to rewatch it.
What is it, Matt?
She's gonna go. Oh, Black Series Natural Light. We were debating this one. This one, Ann or Eric, I'll let you guys go. He's in the YouTube. Black Series David. He's a friend of ours. We love Ann and I love him.
Hello.
What if this is a good one. This is a good finale. Oh man, I'm not even gonna read it. I'm just kidding. What if Black Series Natural Light? What if Qui-Gon and therefore Yoda and Obi-Wan never figured out a way to communicate from beyond the realm of the living? Would Luke have ended up on Dagobah? Could he have crossed paths with another Force-sensitive individual like Ahsoka and received training from her? Which, David, that second part inspired my answer, by the way, because my initial reaction was like, they're fucked. He wouldn't hit the Death Star. And also, if you've ever read Star Wars Infinities, they kind of give you a little bit of that. But anyway, which one of you guys want to go first? Because I got something.
I don't have anything super well thought out, but because I know you guys probably have the side I'm not going to talk about covered. But let's just talk about it. What if he did not run into another Jedi and he never found out where to go? He didn't receive the additional training and he just had what he had and he had to figure it out.
I think if we went with that, because my immediate reaction was, what if Ahsoka, as I said, David, help me. But now that you've said that, I want to riff on this more to close. My immediate reaction was, what if Ahsoka felt the reverberation of the Force and kind of knew she had to help? But I kind of like the idea of, and they did this in Infinity, so I'll take a different direction. They fail and Han and Luke become isolated and the rebellion is kind of destroyed. I think it'd be very interesting, and you could do kind of a Cal Kestis thing with Luke and like kind of now trying to find other Jedi kids and, see who's out there. Maybe Cal Kestis comes into play. He finds some kind of a beacon to the other galaxy, or Cal's still floating around. Ahsoka's out of the world between worlds. So it could be a thing where like he goes a little bit more on like a Grogu quest, like Grogu did, where he's going through the relics and trying to figure this out. He's doing the DIY Jedi thing, which he really didn't even know how to do. He was kind of like in the comics in between, just grabbing artifacts and relics and picking up what he could. So ultimately, he kind of goes on that path and learns a lot of those things. But ultimately, I think that he would kind of find his way, but I don't know that there would be a rebellion. It might be a thing where he ends up a little more scoundrelly, like Han.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking. I didn't want to go that way.
No, I kind of like that idea because it's like what Eric did in the first one. Let's just go in a totally different direction. Like Luke kind of becomes a smuggler, and what is the connection to Leia now? Because Leia's dead. It blew up, right? The Death Star blows up Yavin, but kind of like, is there some kind of a schism in the Force? Like when that happens, because they're not connected. So she understood Jedi, and she is the Force. And this is kind of like a little bit of a build from Jen in there. Like, would the Force have brought Luke and Leia together? I think it did, but they were now separated, and it would have to bring them back together with her not physically embodied. So maybe they don't learn how to be a Force ghost, but because Leia didn't fulfill her purpose, she's kind of in the ether somewhere in Luke's head, not guiding him in the Force, but a little bit more as like a force of conscience or like a force of, and ultimately that is what leads Luke to kind of go on his quest to rectify things in the galaxy and drag Han along, but not before a lot of hijinks in between.
Yeah. No, yeah, there'll be a lot of little adventures. So yeah, I kind of think I like that, and I kind of went more of just like stay on the scoundrel path, not necessarily go like full on Baylan Skull, but maybe more of like like a Han Solo, or Dash Render.
What if? Wait, hold on. What you just said. What if he's synced up somewhere with Baylan Skull because he's still out there, and Luke becomes kind of a mercenary with like a Baylan, and there doesn't need to be, or he's a proto Shin because Shin was like not born for this.
Well, at this point, it would beg the question, like, what is Baylan doing at this point? Because I mean,
we still don't know. We know he was in hiding, becoming a mercenary.
So I mean, like, at this
how long
point,
has he been a mercenary?
The Empire doesn't fall, probably.
No, yeah. So he's out there doing whatever he does on the fringe, and maybe that's where Luke and Han run into him. And
He's like, kid, I can teach you some stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's that. I mean, that one leaves a lot to open right there. I do like that one a lot, though.
That's fun.
Yeah, that was.
Cool. All right, I think that's it. So, Eric,
Yeah.
I don't know if you have an announcement, but we can do Collector's Corner and then the main event for everybody.
The main
So,
event.
I do have something to share, which I will share with the crowd here before we go into Collector's Corner and then the main event. So, give me a second here. It's going to be something from our friends over at SaberMax, and it does go in line with what we are giving away. So let's go ahead and show off. It is the Mustafar collection. So it's the high ground and the low ground, the Anakin and Obi-Wan sabers from SaberMax. So this is a 2-for collection that they have. Comes in baselit, super neopixel, and Profi. Varying blade lengths. Words are hard today, guys. And as you can see from some of these, as you can see from the photos, they are gorgeous sabers. These aren't anything that are, I've shown these types on here before, but this is a nice collection that you get with it. And then not to mention, you can go ahead and get some of these stands and stuff like this that can actually display both of the hilts very nicely, mind you. So, and that is that. So once again, thank you for SaberMax.
Heck yeah, SaberMax.
And
how about that?
Now next, we will go into Collector's Corner, right?
Yep. Who wants to go first?
Question quick from Hal Runner said, is SaberMax affiliated with Lucasfilm? Like, do they coordinate release according to what Lucasfilm says? No, they are just a regular Saber affiliate. They don't affiliate with them, much like any of the other ones. They just sell great products. I've worked with them for a while now, and I love their stuff, honestly.
And I see above Hal Runner had a really good build on one of the what ifs, but Hal Runner, we will talk about that, and we'll do another what if, and I think that could be its own one for the next contest. So definitely keep that in your back pocket.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Anyway, so we are moving into
Collector's Corner
now, guys. So who wants to go first?
I mean, do you want me to go first since I'm doing the like showing the toy at the end, the giveaway portion? I could do that.
Yeah, sure. If you want. Yeah, sure.
First is the Marin Black Series.
Hell yes.
So I love this. This is not a figure I pre-ordered. I kind of bought it as a treat for myself, thinking like, how many photos am I going to take? I think I've taken 5 photos of her. The portrait is like flawless. I love the knife. The knife staff thing is a sheath behind it. It actually goes in. You can see the whole modern articulation. The figure looks great. The blast effect, if you're a photographer and likes to play with this effect, the color of it, you can just add a little green flame around it and it looks really good. Check out my page, Black Series Daily Desk, to see all the photos. And she also comes with the full version. I think the knife like connects to a staff, right?
Okay,
I would know that better. But really, I kind of love the knife and staff look, so I've just been pretending they're 2 separate entities. But really, just such a cool toy. Like I didn't think thought this would be just cool to have, and it's just the articulation, the way it looks posed, really cool.
Yeah, that honestly, man, I have been keeping my eye out for that one because that one's going to be so fun to do with like some Cal duos and like droids. Shit. Like I really can't wait to get my hands on that one, honestly.
Yeah.
And that's been a request from fans for a long time now.
Yeah, it's really a great. I mean, this year, it's actually sort of, as of right now, my 3 favorite figures are obviously is Han first, her second from this year, because I really have been like just getting good photos. And then I think Anakin from the 2-pack we're giving away tonight, third. And Obi-Wan I'm excited to have an Obi-Wan, and it's the best Obi-Wan I think we've ever gotten, like from like a young Obi-Wan standpoint. But there's something for some reason about, and he could still make my top 5 by the end of the year, but with like figures, I think because we've had so many Obi-Wans, we've really never had any good Anakins from like a articulation or a modern standpoint. I think that's why I'm more excited about the Anakin than I thought I would be. But with that said, like, I mean, that's a similar figure build and all of that. It's just really the Anakin figure, they went above and beyond with even how they did the robes and everything on it, like that sash. Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
All right. Ant, how are we doing?
All right. I'll go.
I know he's excited.
Yeah. So I am going to share with you guys. So I went on a little family trip this weekend, and we misplaced something. We needed a cup for our son, so we had to go to Walmart. And when we were there, I ran into a figure line that I love, the holiday figures. And the Night Trooper is the one I picked up. So
I kind of want that one, and I don't buy holiday figures.
This guy
is so cool.
I got it too, and it's awesome.
So I am and I'm sorry if you're going to show this one, but I am a huge holiday figure guy. I have All of them right here.
Yes,
Behind me.
Nice.
And this one I think honestly is probably my favorite one that they've come out with. It's just it comes with the staff here. I just had it in that post from a photo you'll be seeing on my page. I am not a committee coming up sometime soon. But yeah, he's cool. You can do all that.
I love the soft goods on it. Is really nice.
Comes with your little porgy.
Oh, I also think if you're a photographer and you aren't, that's a holiday figure I kind of want, because they only made the one Night Trooper with Enoch. And I was debating showing him tonight, the Death Trooper zombie. So if you want to pad out your ranks of Night Troopers and not just have the same one with the gray helmet, that is a great additional Night Trooper to use in a photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I got it myself too, and I love
or you
that
can get
man.
very creative with it too.
Mm-hmm. You could get a Brendan Fraser figure and do the Star Wars mummy, or the Indiana Jones, or the Indiana Jones mummy. You could have that one for free.
So yeah, I was really pumped to find it in the wild, and yeah. That's all I got.
Cool.
What you got?
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and finish this off. And I don't have an action figure. I don't have a lightsaber. I got something that I don't think I've ever showed off on the show before.
Is it your Days of the Week Star Wars underwear?
No. Listen, I'm
gotta
trying
make sure
not
we keep
to
it
pick off
PG-13.
the internet. All right?
Yeah.
We
Well,
gotta
anyway,
behave.
I went right to PG-13 for the record with those Days of the Week Star Wars underwear. They are briefs, though.
Yes, that's still
Anyways,
underoos.
so I got this in a giveaway recently, done on Instagram, and it is
this is
this
oh
guy.
my god!
So,
Wait, that is a
dude.
chonky boy.
yeah. So
That's
it's
perfect.
so it is the clone DC-15
Oh my
blaster.
God,
It's a
it's
3D
huge.
print.
How do you get so lucky, man?
I don't know.
He has friends
but, like,
everywhere.
He does.
Yes, but like the detail on this thing's awesome. I love
Wait, can you
this
hold it
thing,
in your
like-
hand like a blaster? That thing is ginormous.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, if you look at the
show,
show,
it's big.
like
Yeah,
with
no,
the
it's
size
big.
of it,
It's great. It's just
because
you
it
don't
lines
think of
up
it
too.
in person.
It lines up with it because like they always said like the rumor on it is like if it doesn't work they could just use it as a hammer and hit somebody with it. So which is true. This thing is absolutely massive. So but yeah, I got this from I'm gonna pull up his profile right now so you guys can excuse me. Sorry, I am still suffering with a little bit of the flu from last week. That's why you guys haven't seen me on too much. But his name is Skull Crusher with a K .cosplay on Instagram. Excuse me. Dying over here.
I know somebody asked what your CT number is, by the way.
Don't got one of those. So
Your CT 8008 boob.
But yeah, so I'll go ahead
That's
and
awesome.
I'll actually link him in the comments so you guys can check it out because he does 3D prints like just like this. And like I said, guys, this thing looks awesome. I don't even know how I'm gonna display this with the rest of my collection yet because you guys know how my stuff is. And this is like a piece I have never had, so I'm debating how I'm supposed to put this one up there, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm used to mount my Han Solo blasters. I'll show one of them next time. I'm just getting the prize. We gotta get in the comments. Sure, at least your droid, maybe CT number is E31C. That's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good. Yeah, there we go. CT E31C.
that'll work.
But
Guys,
I've got. I think it's the moment, right?
real. Okay.
No, go for it.
Excuse me.
Okay. Have the porg's wings always moved?
I don't.
Been
I don't know.
articulate on a swivelly boat? One of these.
I don't know, but if they haven't, that's. Are you looking back there?
No, they have not.
Oh, okay.
What a fun little thing.
What a fun little fact. I think we should keep starting, and then somebody comes up with a fun fact to build anticipation.
fun
I'm like, I
fact.
think we're gonna.
It's a fun
I think
fact,
we're gonna go
everyone.
now. Wait, first, how was everybody's weekend?
Hey, it was great. It was great. Fun
Listen,
fact.
I think they're going to get to us in the comments here pretty soon if we don't do
All
this
right,
giveaway.
okay, let's
So,
gonna put this up. So, reminder to everybody: the way that you entered and were accepted was you gave us a what if in the comments. You followed
Thank you,
I'm
Ben.
not a committee, the _ Dadalorian and Black Series Daily Desk, as well as our podcast page. This is a new inbox San Diego Comic-Con 2-pack. I do have the sleeve. The sleeve will be on it when I send it to you. For whoever is the winner, I will shoot you a message this evening. You'll get me your address, and I will get this out to you by the weekend. Not to your home by the weekend. I will mail it by the weekend. So
Very good
anyway,
clarification.
with that said,
We're all about transparency.
Here we go, boys.
Do I click it?
Good luck,
Or
everyone.
do I just keep the suspense?
Just keep
Do I
hovering.
the suspense?
I think we should get the fight between
Oh,
Obi-Wan
shit.
and Anakin.
Oh,
And
you
Anakin.
should've
Oh my god.
All right.
Oh my god. Da 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 da. Who is it?
Aaron Anthony. That's actually a guy who's followed me for a while. So
Anthony,
congratulations.
I will reach
Congratulations,
out to you
Good
tonight.
brother.
name. Good name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, awesome dude. I'm actually super stoked that he won that. So yeah, guys, this was a completely randomized thing. But Aaron Anthony, congratulations, brother. We're super stoked for you. On with that, guys, talk about the greatest giveaway we've done on the podcast.
Oh yeah, no, seriously. I mean, and like I said, it was a
Thank
friend
you,
of the
Matt.
cast who donated it to us. We all talked about it and decided it was best to do it to help the cast get some people to listen to us. And we appreciate everybody that participated, everybody that's already been a listener. We love you guys. I know most of you entered, and all of our new listeners, I hope you come back. We do giveaways quite a bit. We have talent on. We've had a couple of we've had Nashir from the Jedi Survivor game. We've had Adashir, who's a stuntman in some of the shows. We have some really good casts. We have guests from throughout the community. So hopefully you all come back and there will be more contests. We promise. Eric's got a bunch of random stuff in his closet that he like figures. So yeah, we're gonna start getting rid of this.
I might have a little random something too.
I might have a little
Laying
random
around
something
here and
floating around also.
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna be looking through my closets here. Coming up, having a garage sale coming up, so we're gonna see what we have in there.
Yeah.
And I know you guys can't see all the Instagram comments coming in because they're not on our screen over here, but we got tons of stuff coming in. People congratulating Anthony and just giving us some really good comments and everything. So we appreciate you guys watching on the live over there and hanging out with us. And, you know, like I said, we will be doing tons more of these in the future. You know, we're going like a year and a half strong in the podcast now. So that's pretty wild, honestly.
That is insane. All right.
So
cool. So I think
well,
that's that. What a cast.
Yeah.
One of the best. One of the best.
That honestly
Always love a good what if episode.
What if's my favorite? I would do it every week.
I think that was the best.
That's
That
what we
might
do.
be the best
That's what we do.
episode we've ever
I
had.
don't know. The
Honestly.
one where I did the Mad Max Han Solo smuggler battle with the Empire was my favorite.
Dude,
It's because I love
Dude.
Han Solo just next to me at all times.
that's right.
Can you
No,
the
that's
That's
what
probably
I-
my best.
Witness
That's my favorite one.
me.
The stories you write with your pictures. You
Yeah.
know.
Witness me. Anyway, all right. Well, who want? Ant, you want to do your sign off? Your sign off.
In my sign up.
Yeah.
No,
I was doing Bosk. Your sign
know.
off.
Yes, I know. It is so fun to play in Battlefront, but that's another topic. Ooh, that could be a topic. Anyways, I am Not a Committee on Instagram. Thank you for all the folks who participated in our giveaway. Excuse me, and thank you guys for orchestrating all of that. And you know, this is, like I said, always love talking what ifs, and we'll be excited to see you guys next time.
And I will just say I am Black Series Daily Desk on Instagram, and I want to thank everybody who joined us, everybody who commented, everybody that submitted a what if. We hope you'll come back and see us. Pretty sure after this giveaway, much like my dear friend the Dadalorian, I have friends everywhere. May the force be with you always.
Yes, and guys, thank you so much for joining us today. So you can follow us on all of our Instagrams. They've obviously gotten theirs up. The podcast one is going to be Sith Happens _ Star Wars podcast, as well as my own _Dadalorian _. I apologize if you hear my family in the background still coughing. Like I said, the flu is strong in this household. Not the force.
Flu is strong.
Yes. Anyways,
It's a forceful flu.
It is a forceful flu. We
be
do
here all
appreciate you guys. Yes, we appreciate you guys coming in today. It's been a fun episode. I am super stoked to do some more of these in the future. Anyways, this is the way.